lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again.
What is going on, all you beautiful nerds out there? We are excited for tonight. It's going to be a blast. We have a really cool guest. Do you guys want to know who it is? You can probably guess because he's on the screen right now. We got Brennan Chapman from Do It Molds, y'all. And I know a lot of you guys out there are making baits, and we get a lot of custom stuff sent to us. And I know a lot of you guys are using Do It Molds. And I also know Fishing with Gramps said earlier that we beat him to the punch on getting Brennan on. So yes, that's what's up. Brendan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks a ton for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can tell from the pre-game show where we were just chit-chatting before we went live here, this is going to be a fun live. And I also want everybody to know that when we did that episode predicting the trends of tackle for 2022, Brendan said that we were spot on with what's going on in the bait making business. So just want to say, we had no business making those predictions.
We got very lucky.
But we got very lucky. That was fun to hear. All right, you guys, if you like the show, be sure to subscribe, smash a like, ring the notification bell. And you know what's really important? That you share the show around. Anybody you know who's wanting to get into fishing is into fishing, no matter like how good or bad they are. I mean, come on, you guys have seen us
Especially
fish.
If you're bad, then you can
Especially if you're bad. Then you can hang out with us. We can be on the same page, same level, right? So send them over to the show. We love growing this audience every single time we go live. The chat is a blast. Just so you guys know, you can throw us a super chat if you want to support the show. You can also join our membership base down below because we do members only lives and giveaways. And we're going to be making some new shirts that are only going out to the Snorlax crew. So if you want to be a part of that, hop on. Also, other news noteworthy, I'm excited for this one. Ned Rig Nerd apparel and stickies are going to be available next week. So next week on Monday, I'm going to drop links for it. If you guys want this sticker right here that Paul is holding, we got lots and lots of comments on it. It's going to be available for sale. I think we're running them for $6. I mean, that covers our shipping mostly because it's big and bulky. So we're going to have a link for that go out on Monday. It's just a Google form, fill it out, send us a PayPal, and we'll ship you out a sticker. And then shirts are going to be available as well. I will also drop a link for that. And you can just order it and have that one shipped to your house. Nobody has to deal with it. So that'll be super clean and fun. All right. I see a sold already from Dominic McDonald, so I've done my job. I'm fantastic, and I'm done with it. There's my intro, Paul. What do we do now? I don't remember. Episode 98/99, because I put the wrong number on the board, y'all.
That's okay, though. It actually makes... It's going to be good. It's going to be good. We're building up to 100. We have 0 ideas whatsoever for episode 100. But
2
it's
weeks
like
away.
We're gonna get there. We bought ourselves an extra week because we can't count, so that was great. So we're gonna get right into the Q of the D, the question of the day. So like our little fun icebreaker. Mine was, what is the best, most awful candy that's out there? So I'm gonna give you some examples.
Okay.
Everyone gets the answer, but
very
for example,
confused.
Like zebra gum. You remember it came in a little tin and
Right.
it had it lasted for a quarter of a second before it turned into trash. But that quarter of a second was like pure euphoria because it was all sugar.
First flavor, euphoric. Second flavor, sawdust.
You remember that? And then there was like the Band-Aid gum that was like Band-Aids. Remember those? Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are awesome. Like you were so happy to get those, right? So like a ring pop.
But they were a horrible candy.
Yeah, they're horrific, but they're great. They're fantastic. So
ring pops.
So what's like the best?
The cigarette ones, yeah.
Yeah, the cigarette gum.
The fake candy cigarette that was just chalk.
We're stuck on gum. There's a lot of other options. Big League Chew was actually
gum is terrible.
That I had written down. So
I'm sensing a trend. Are you guys sensing a trend here?
So yeah,
Paul hates gum. Got it.
No, I don't. I like, all right, fine. I hate gum. Whatever. Anyways, what is the best?
Worst candy? I got you.
Worst candy out there. You get me now.
I'm 100% on board with this. The best worst candy, maybe a tie break here, would be the candy dots on receipt paper.
Yeah.
Where you would always end up, you would eat paper, and then the paper would be all multicolored from your tongue, and they were terrible. But when you got a roll of that stuff, you were like, yeah. Okay, but I said tie break.
4 bites. The whole thing, the 6 feet was like 4 bites.
It was ridiculous. The second place one would be the styrofoam UFO candies. So it's like the little piece of like legitimate styrofoam that would melt in your mouth.
Okay.
It was like a special kind of wafer that looked, felt like, and sounded like if you chewed on it, styrofoam.
I kind of love it.
Possibly tasted like styrofoam too. I don't eat styrofoam, but if I had to guess, that's how styrofoam tastes.
Pretty great.
So there's mine. What do y'all got? What's Brennan got?
All right, so I got one that's going to go against the grain and maybe against the rules here.
Ooh.
It's very edgy, but I'm going to throw it out anyways. And that's an almond joy. I know that doesn't fit
Oh
the
no,
mold here.
no, I see.
Yeah, doesn't fit the mold. No
It
pun
kinda
intended.
does.
No, it kind of does. It kind of does.
In
but
that it's
then-
not gum. Got
yeah,
it.
yeah, it has to be gum. No, I would say number one, without a doubt, would be just Pop Rocks. That's not even candy.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's a good one.
It's
That's
there
really
for
good
a
one.
second, makes a little noise, little flavor, and it's gone. You know.
Contains 0.03 calories, and you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm full.
Yep.
Delicious
not-
candy.
Pop Rocks.
That's a good one. I would say like
Oh yeah,
I
that you
don't
would
even-
blow up.
I don't even. Was that what it was that you would explode?
Yeah, it's what people thought with eating Mentos with Coke. I mean, yeah.
But they were right with that one.
Yeah, that one you actually could die.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know. Let's try. Paul, you go first, and then
I'll
we'll go from
absolutely do that.
there.
I don't know if I have a lot of my answers have already been taken, so these are all really good. I would definitely say like sixlets, super unbelievably delicious, but like just
Sixlets.
a very underranked candy. So probably like in the almond joy. I don't know. Does anybody eat sixlets? I just was mad that they didn't come in a bigger container.
I don't
I
know
did,
what that is.
'cause
What is that?
It was like
Sixlet
the
is like an
tiniest tube of
it's a
little
spherical-
chocolate spheres.
It's a spherical M&M, but it's like
Yeah.
way more sugary and like it's got to be.
It was
10
better
times worse
tasting.
than you. They are
Okay.
way better.
Yeah.
I will also say that the first one that popped in my head though was the candy necklaces that were chokers. Like,
You're chewing on it and
you
getting
would
candy all
chew
over
on
you.
them,
Yeah.
and they would disintegrate. But they also like anyone that you touched like with the side of your tongue, because like they're all connected, would just start melting, and you would just have stripes like all over your neck or your
Yeah.
wrist. So I will. That's not a thing, is it? I think
We'll just
Those
say
are- those are
candy
underrated.
apparel. Yeah,
those
that's
do seem underrated.
I'm wearing a pair.
It's like by definition, they're
Yeah.
underrated.
extremely supportive and comfortable. I also saw a lot of people in here saying the wax bottles full of juice, and you would bite the top off, and you'd
Those
have
are
just
absolute
wax in your
trash.
mouth.
Those are absolute trash.
Yeah.
That's got to be up there with sugar daddies. I don't know how those
Ugh.
stuck around for as long as they did. Like, who was buying those for a quarter still?
Whoever invented them,
Yeah.
though, they're millionaires. Like
They
they're-
gotta be like, yeah,
yeah.
there gotta be like top 10 richest candy
Right.
moguls out there. But why?
Under the radar billionaires.
Yeah, this is like the same guy that invented
Yep.
teeth. Like you invented trash,
Yep.
but everyone decided we're doing this every year no matter what, and I'm probably gonna feed them to my dog. But like everyone buys them. They're like just counting their money.
No, they were originally in like Easter category, but then they started
saying.
making Santas and pumpkins.
Yes.
It's all this
I will
trash.
say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again though. Not a joke. If you want to get like the best tasting Reese's that you could possibly get, it's always the seasonal Reese's because they're made fresh and they've not been sitting around a warehouse for like a year and a half. So the
10,000
seasonal
years.
Reese's, those are the 10
Yep.
times better than any other one. It's not close. All right. Oh, great.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
It's
I'll go-
okay. End of YouTube partnership.
No, I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and make that a YouTube partnership. All right, so let's get into the show me. We're Oh, the Valentine's Day. I think he was going for chalk hearts, not caulk hearts. But definitely, that's
Sorry, what?
That should be on the list too. The Necco wafers. That's not candy.
That's definitely not
Isn't
candy.
that like a World War? Isn't that like a World War II thing where they were like trading those? I have to look that up. I used to know like a good fun fact about Necco wafers, but they're gone.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
First thing I want to say is thank you to Debo for hooking us up. So the only reason we were able to beat Gramps is because
Thanks, nerd.
we told our nerd buddy
We
Debo,
cheated.
who's got a great partnership going with Do It Molds, and we were like, hook us up. And so I emailed Brendan like seriously, I think that the next day, and we were able to
Hmm.
find a date very quickly. So thanks, Debo. In addition to thank you, Brendan, for making the time. We like to start the show
Absolutely.
same way, almost every time, wherever we can. We want to say like, how did you get into fishing? Because like obviously, I think I would find it hard to believe that you run a company that's so intensely supportive of like a niche corner of fishing that you don't have like a strong background on fishing, or at least some background on fishing.
I think it'd be funny if you didn't, though.
It's
One of
happened
these
before.
days, we're gonna get a
It's
guest that's
happened
like,
before. I
I
hate
don't
fishing,
fish.
but I make all of this
don't know
stuff.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
No,
yeah. Walk us through the background.
yeah, so like anybody I think in the fishing industry, there's no playbook or route to really get in. It's like a lot of perfect timing or perfect connections, really. Um, I've been at Do It, lucky to be at Do It for now, just about 4 years as the product manager. I do have a strong background in fishing, been fishing since I was like 3 years old, chasing everything all over Iowa, traveling around the Midwest, and then, kind of expanding even further from there. Um, Typically just targeting bass now for the most part. I do chase walleye around. I like to fish the Great Lakes for some walleye, just during the key times of the year, but really just focusing in on bass. I had kind of a odd entrance into Do It. Somebody was just leaving, and it was one of those perfect timing scenarios where I could kind of get my foot in the door. I was just out of college, starting up my MBA, and it was just perfect timing. This job opened up. I stuck my foot in the door, and here I am. So um, started off doing like customer service, which is a lot of things, because I think anything in the fishing industry, you better be ready to wear a lot of hats, and you better love fishing, because you do get to wear a lot of hats. No, here I am. Yeah, get to. Well, one of those hats is like playing around with fishing stuff and fishing. So
100%.
anytime I can wear that hat, I'll wear all the other hats if I get to wear that hat a lot. So
I mean, those positions do exist somewhere, right? Oh, pro fisherman.
I like where I'm at. I think it's a little safer here.
Agreed.
I will say, your story sounds a lot like Derek from Anglers, because he's sort of like in Pennsylvania, right? Graduated college and like sort of fell into a job with Angler, and now is doing something that he's really passionate about, working in the fishing industry. Has met a bunch of people, and is now his full-time job, which I think is really cool. I definitely did not have that experience. I think most people would say they did not have a door open up in their face that they could stick their foot through. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's interesting. Originally, Do It was looking for like something CNC oriented, more on the manufacturing side of business. I did that and was really starving to get into the fishing industry, outdoor industry in general, but specifically fishing. Reached out, absolutely no CNC or manufacturing experience, and said, "Hey, some dude that's somewhat of an educated and really, really, really likes fishing. Is there anything at all?" And like I said, got my way into customer service and worked up from there.
That's amazing. So, can I ask what you did study in school?
I have an ag business background, so like I said, there's really no route or playbook to get into the fishing industry. Maybe I'll do that as my retirement plan. I'll write one and tell everybody how to do it and charge a ton of money for it. But no ag business background. I think I kind of realized when I was getting out of high school that the odds of me getting into the outdoor industry was so slim that and then what do you do major in if you want to do that? So I kind of looked at what was around me in Iowa, which is agriculture, and went right down that path, and then got out, started my master's in business. Didn't quite finish because I got a job in fishing and couldn't justify finishing. And I don't care, and I don't regret it. And yeah, so I guess you could say a background in ag and in business, which very little applies to what I do today. So
I mean, but isn't that like the point of college? I feel like that's what I did too. Yeah. I have a degree. I don't use it. So I don't know. Maybe you had the magic combo though. It was like it was the what was it? Up, down, left, right, AB, AB.
Yeah.
It was the cheat code.
That's
You
the
get
cheat
the
code
ag.
to GTA.
Yeah,
You talking
exactly.
GTA?
Well, it goes further back than that. Even that's like an old NES. What was that, Chaz? It's a Konami cheat code.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's the OG cheat code. But if you just do ag and business, cheat code.
Cheat code.
Duh. There you go,
I love
guys.
It gets you to fishing. That's the ticket. Ag and
Now you
business.
all know.
Yep.
Go to school, nerds. Also, what's up, Debo? Thanks for the connection.
Shout out Debo.
100%. So I usually ask about the logo or the name of the company, but both of those to me are like pretty self-explanatory. Like, do it. If you're not connecting the dots on that one, you definitely need to go back to school.
I don't get it.
And the logo actually I think is also pretty self-explanatory. It's a jig. So
Still don't get it.
I'm tracking. Okay, Jeff, go back to school. I'm tracking. But I did notice the tagline that says "When pride is on the line."
I like that.
Yeah.
And then my interest was piqued because now I'm like, does that mean like I need Do It Mold's products that are the best products to catch fish when pride is on the line? Is that what we're talking about?
So that you win in tournaments?
Yeah, that I win pride, maybe?
Or in the look of your baits? Pride in presentation or pride in fishing? Or both?
Yeah, I think it's mainly I think it can be several things, but I think it really speaks to like the confidence and then the reward too of making your own tackle and then being successful using your own tackle. So,
and I will
100%.
I can definitely attest to that because I'll never forget the first fish that I caught on a fly that I tied. I like called my best buddy at the time and was like, he could not have cared less, and I was like, look what I did. And he was like,
best buddy at the time.
Exactly. And he was like, great, go away.
That day, last time I ever talked to him.
Well, I need a new best
to him
bud.
since.
I need a new best bud now. But yeah, I was like,
You're being demoted.
I absolutely had to celebrate that. And I'll never forget that fish, even though it's just like the dinkiest like baby smallmouth. But I was like, I'll never forget that fish because I was just like, look what I did. So
I can also attest to this because we made spinner baits and I caught one on the purple and green pumpkin crazy one that I made when we didn't even have like all the right parts, but we put a thing together and it caught me a decent smallmouth at the dam. And I was like, it's such a cool feeling. So I totally get that. Also, Tom Alfred, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the super chat. Is cork sealant worth it or is it snake oil? This is for Brennan, obviously.
Oh, dude. I don't know. I can't say I've used that. I'll be totally honest with you. I'll straight on that. I don't know the answer.
Are we talking about for like your rod like handle? Is that what we're talking about? Is that when you would use it?
I don't know if that's like fly tying terminology that goes over my head because I'm not. Not that I never respect it, but I don't. Not super well versed in that arena. Nor am I in rods, and I feel like that might be rods.
It's got to be rods.
Elaborate.
I would say.
Sounds like a rod thing.
If St. Croix's not selling it to you, I definitely think it's fake. I don't. It's cork. That's kind of what it's for. Like, it's
If you just mean so the hype on cork sealant is I just looked it up. It's Birkenstocks. So it's like if it's a high tread, high use area because there's cork on like Birkenstocks, then it'll keep it looking clean and fresh. So I would say if you care that your handle doesn't turn into just like a brown black mess of disgusting
like,
cork rod.
In 30 years?
No.
I'm definitely an I don't know.
3 years. 4 seasons if you fish a lot. My St. Croix Bass X is pretty nasty. That's why I covered it with that AccuCull handle.
Oh, interesting.
If you care how it looks, seal it. If you don't care how it looks, don't. And also, what?
And go to college.
Boricua angler and chef. I'm slaughtering your name, man. Sorry. Helps extend the life of the cork. Sure. I mean, what are you doing with your fishing rods? I've seen guys that like super high traffic fishing rods. Like I don't see them just falling apart.
My official answer is I have absolutely no idea. Could go
do your research.
Way. But I will say that I do not use it. I have never used it before, so maybe I need to go learn.
I
Good
mean,
question though. I feel like we just got stumped on the first question, so that's kind of a brutal.
way
We're
to
all
go,
missing
guys.
Absolutely slaughter us.
Yeah.
Finish me. That's
Slang
hilarious.
for Puerto Rican. Sweet. So I definitely said it wrong. Sorry. This is what I do. I don't know. It's been
Yeah.
98 shows at this point, you guys. Don't you realize I don't say names very well?
So
My
funny. All right.
bad.
I want to go. So I have to. Obviously, this is your full-time job, being a product manager for Do It, and you've been doing it for not quite a handful of years. But what is a product manager at Do It, and are you the only one, or are there like a dozen of you?
Well, some days it would be great if there were a dozen of me, but I think the world is a better place that there's just one of me, if that makes sense. But no, I do a little bit of everything. So I mean, I do all of our purchasing, I do all of our receiving, manage our warehouse, manage our new product development process, have my hands in a lot of the marketing. So I mean, it's like I said,
You're the
product
guy.
manager is nothing. Sure,
Hey,
I'm the guy.
Who else works
I'm a
there?
mogul.
Yeah. Who else works at Do It
Wait,
Mold?
wait.
Unless
Is
there's
there-
a guy
is there-
named Do and a guy named It. Like no
yeah,
one
there's
else
an
can work there.
office. There's
Under my
one
boss,
office.
yeah.
The blinds are always down. There's a big warehouse. It's just Brennan, and then there's one office. And then he just gets messages that come under the door in an envelope that he opens up, and it's like, all right, so today you're doing this. But
Yeah.
there's really no people there. It's Skynet.
It's like a Wizard of Oz setting. Like
Yeah.
when they go to see Oz, like I'm just behind there. No, but honestly, I have a great team of people that I work with. I think we've got about 40 employees at Do It, which is like just right over there if these walls weren't in the way, just past this creek and beyond the trees. So we've got about 40 people that work there, and I have my hands in a lot of stuff, but get a lot of help. I need a lot of help. So no, it's a good company to work for, that's for sure.
Awesome.
I'm
We
ready to
did
move
have
to
a
Iowa.
quick question from the chat. Contigo1 says top 4 colorant for plastic bait making and also glitter colors.
Okay, you ready?
So 2-part. Yeah.
All right, we'll go colorants. Are we talking best sellers or just best in my opinion?
I'm gonna
Maybe
go
those
best.
hand in
I'm gonna
hand.
go best sellers, and then I
Yeah.
want your best opinion.
Ooh, so now it's 4 answers.
Jeez, dude. All right. Okay. Green pumpkin green for sure.
Mhm.
Probably watermelon green or watermelon brown.
Mhm.
Black for sure. And then white is another, yeah. My favorite, I would say, for colorants, I'm a big black and blue guy. I don't have a ton of like really clean water around me, so black and blue and June bugs are really prominent. In fact, I'm probably throwing black and blue more than I am green pumpkin, unless I'm traveling more than like an hour away from where I'm at here. Just because our water just does not get super clean very often. So I'm gonna say black and blues for me. I like some green pumpkin, of course, because you have to. And then June bug. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I dig it. What about like glitter and flake?
Glitter. Some of the holographic colors are pretty sneaky and popular. Like holographic purple is used in a lot of stuff. Black, of course. Fire red. Canadian blue is a huge one.
Canadian blue, is that like
It's like
a
a
oil
dark blue.
Okay.
Dark blue. Okay.
Yep, it's just a dark blue. It's something that contrasts really well against black, green pumpkin. You know, it's just a deeper blue, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Oh.
I was
There
about
you
to
guys
load
go.
up my cart with all the copper flake and then just figure the rest out later. I'm serious. I was looking through the
Chartreuse,
website and I was like,
green pumpkin,
ooh.
copper.
No, I'm serious. I was like, give me, because it's funny. Like every time that I've like now when I go to now I go to a site, like I've noticed that like copper is maybe not the most common on a lot of people's sites, and maybe it's just because I'm in Michigan and that's a big thing for us for smallmouth. But now that every time I see one that has copper flake or some combination of like I've Z Baitco does like copper and purple, copper and blue, copper and red, and every combination just to my eye looks like candy. So now I'm like, that's the only thing I care about. It's like the only thing I look for. I'm like, well, if they don't have this, I won't buy it.
I like copper. Copper works around here.
You see,
Oh, nice.
he gets it. Freaking awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good question. So how long has Do It been around? Like, is Do It something that I should have known about if like it was my grandfather buying things from Do It, or is that like is that something where it's like it's been here for like 6 years and no one should know about it and it's still new to everybody?
Sure. Yeah, I can answer that in a couple different ways. I think this sign here behind me is maybe a testament to the age of Do It. It actually has like little fossils starting to grow on it. I want to tell you,
Nice.
Do It was founded. The first Do It mold was manufactured in 1965.
Shut the front.
Um,
What?
yeah, so I was like negative 30 something when Do It started.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think maybe this speaks to your point too. Maybe not, but I was raised like 5 minutes north of Do It, lived there my entire life. Did not know it was there. I think there was a point in time, and I think to many still it is, or maybe to some it is something that their grandfather would do. However, we're seeing that number really start to come down. There's a lot of younger people making tackle. There's a lot of people making tackle for a lot more reasons than just like the craft or the I don't know, craftsmanship that goes into it, like maybe this poster represents here. There's all sorts of different levels of tackle makers in general. There's guys that are using our soft bait molds to melt down, used plastics and not let them go to waste and shoot them right back into our Senko mold and then have Senkos to go fish with for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna be doing that.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's all sorts of different levels to this, right? So, like I said, there's people that are doing it just for recycling and because it's super easy, and then there's people that, go down a rabbit hole and want to make like the craziest, best thing on the planet and won't buy a store-bought jig or whatever, right?
They want their Canadian blue with a black brush guard.
With
copper flake.
Copper,
man.
That actually would kind of. I would run that smoke. That's freaking cool.
I'm down for it. Yo, welcome Tom Alfred to the Burly Bunch Elite. Cheers, my friend. Everybody says about time. Mark
That's
Terrio.
what I'm saying. So what? That was actually going to be one of my other questions. Was like, what are some? I mean, there's some things that I assume, but like, what is sort of your customer niche base? I mean, you already talked about, somebody who's maybe just like, I have all these extra plastics. I don't want to throw them in the trash. Or I don't want to like. I have ripped ones that I didn't just throw back in the water because I don't suck, and I put them back in my boat. Now I get this huge pile of them. Well, our guide when we were the dude who took us fishing when we were in New York was, I mean, he probably had, Jeff, 150 plastics just in his console.
Yeah, easily. We went through what?
We went through 2 dozen
bags
in like before
a day.
snack time. So I mean, there's that person, which I mean, you already mentioned. I would assume there's probably some tournament guys out there that are like, can't find what they, specifically like in enough quantity, and they don't care whether or not it's a last tech or whatever, and they're like, I want this color every time, or this set or whatever, and I'm assuming that's somebody.
Yeah, well, let's actually touch on that real quick, if you don't mind. The tournament guy, man, like I can't even like tell you how many like Elite Series guys alone have Do It molds and or used to have Do It molds and or have somebody with Do It molds that makes a majority of their tackle for them. There's been major tournaments in the Elite Series within the last 20 years, if you look back, that have been won on Do It molds, or at least part of the success has been from a Do It mold guys that are making a jig or whatever it may be, a shaky head, something simple. I just want to put a premium hook in it and have their hands and their control over every part of the process because they want it to be theirs and perfect. Right.
I'm thinking about our buddy Eric, who we met on that trip. Actually, I'm like, if that dude ever like landed on the one, I'm sure he would be like, okay, I can only get this from some random shop in Alabama that I went to once, but I know exactly what it is and what it looks like and what it's made out of. And he's like, I'm gonna make 600 of them a year. Like I could see that happening.
So real quick before we roll on, I need to make a formal apology to Tom, not Alfred, Allred. I have said his
You're
name.
just butchering.
No, this is like the 6th or 7th show that I've said his name as Alfred. And I don't know if you guys have noticed what sets me apart from Paul, but I wear these things for a reason, and apparently they're not working well enough. So Tom Allred, I'm sorry, but if you do want to change your name to Alfred, that's totally fine too. It's up to you.
Yeah, you can pull it to Burly and just go _ Alfred.
Just change it. If everybody can just change their names so I can pronounce them. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
So who are some of your other customers? Like, who is somebody that maybe I wouldn't have thought of? That's like that's into do it, whether it's on the plastics making side of the jig or the even just the component side, right? That's buying some components.
Okay, so we've touched on like the entry level guy that maybe has no further interest other than like melting down plastics to remelt them and repurpose their old baits. Touched on pros, which I think guides go right in that same bucket. Maybe fit another bucket that I'm going to get here to in just a second, but that is, wanting perfect premium components in their tackle, much like a pro. The next one, which I would also kind of put guide in that same bucket, is the guy that's doing it to be as economical as possible. You can spend a ton of money on this, right? Like you can anything, like rod building or whatever.
I could bankrupt myself.
Yeah, name a hobby, right?
Yeah,
sure.
It's America. You can lose your shirt doing anything.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, you can go nuts with it as well, but really a lot of people will just narrow it down to like a couple things that they use a lot of, whether it be a Ned rig, a football jig, a blade bait, a spinner bait, whatever it might be. 5-inch Senko, name a soft bait. We got, every soft bait mold too. They want to just save money and stock up. And it's a little easier to do that on the lead side for sure. The soft plastic thing, like it does get a little bit more expensive. But on the lead side, there's for sure a massive savings to be had. And then I would say a new bucket that we're probably just now seeing is making tackle out of necessity because
you can't buy
get some. Yeah, right, for sure.
Oh, I want my Gamkatsu, like, 7 size tube jig. Like, good luck, nerd. Like, we sold out of those in 2019, my dude.
Yep. Oh my gosh. So fishing with Gramps addressed the Elastec issue. Yeah, you're not supposed to melt and reuse those. Well, first of all, they shouldn't die. So, I mean, I'm surprised. I still have like some of the same TRDs I caught my first fish with. I'm just saying.
Even those Nikos, it's so fun. I was talking to
the Nikos are ridiculous.
I want to place an order.
Yeah.
It's almost hard to justify because I still have like a bag and a half of leeches. I only ever bought 2 bags. I've caught easily 50 fish on those leeches.
Also, Fishing with Graham says he wants a Zacho mold, please. That'd be great.
Okay, sure.
Some Yamis. You got some Yamamotos? Some different molds for that?
Yeah, we do. We have the Yamamoto Senko 4, 5, and 6-inch, and it's licensed through Yamamoto. It is it's nice. The actual Senko. So when you're shooting one in there, you're making a Senko.
Hold on, guys.
Sick.
We have you skipped 4, 5, 6, and 7. You got right to where I wanted to be. So I had this
because we want to get to the fun stuff.
No, so okay. I am.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
He wants to talk Copper Flake, right?
I thought we did
that. Copper Flake was 1 through 7. Then instead 8 is the next thing. Okay. No, he has a very specific show, and I love to just jump around in it because then he's
control shift down like, 10. Let's do it. So why I work in supply chain as my profession. And my it's not fun. My whole brain immediately when just before I opened up your guys' website, legitimately I thought to myself like, okay, are they looking at plastics that they know are going to sell well, and they're like, I can I can make a mold out of this that's so close that it doesn't matter. So like when I look at like the best example I thought of because I'm just like so related to I fish all the time was like the Z-Man, the Ned. And when I look at that, I'm like, that's the easiest one to copy. It's so simple and like. You could just do that. You could just get on, someone with a CAD. You could go make that mold. It'd be so easy. but it's clearly theft. And so I'm like, okay, but like how does this work? Like, because you're selling a mold and there's a company out there who owns that mold. And so I'm like, these things are incongruent. Like, so how does that work? So you mentioned licensing. Is that how you guys are doing this? Or like, okay, like we'll just pay a fee to company X. They'll let us now make this mold for cost X.
Yep. So yeah, that's a good question. So there's only one product or products through Yamamoto that are licensed. The rest, honestly, like the rest of the fishing industry, there's some low-lying or low-hanging fruit out there, right? That everybody piles on when they see a new trend, whether it be a Ned rig or whatever
Don't
you
call
name
Ned
it,
rigs
right?
a trend. You'll get
Hey,
fired from the
it's
show.
not a
So fast.
trend.
I'm just
It's a
They're
lifestyle.
here to stay. They're here forever.
They are.
Cheers to
Midwest, my
that.
guy.
I do some Ned rigging. No shame. No shame. No, no doubt. So there's some, like I said, I called it low hanging fruit, which maybe wasn't like the best way.
No,
to
it's
say
like an
it,
obvious, like a craw. Like, okay,
Yeah.
we're doing this craw, right? Whatever you want to.
Right. Like this comes out at ICAST 2018, and ICAST 2019 or somewhere in between there. Every company is going to have some variety of that. We will not miss that either, right? So like Ned rig being one of them, we're not going to miss that train. A Ned rig train, the best train, maybe.
The only train.
It's like,
Hey,
good one.
second repeat guest
I'm
coming in hot.
hired.
What are you doing in 2
Right.
weeks?
Look, nobody else got an invite. Well, that's why.
Right.
What?
It is a pseudo sue, yeah. Glad you noticed.
How'd you catch that?
Charles, okay, we know how Charles thought.
Dude, brewed in
Charles could
Decorah,
probably
Iowa.
smell it when you cracked it. If he had a superpower, that would
He
be
probably
it.
did smell it. But
He was
also the purple and green T-Rex is like a legit.
Yeah.
little
Stole that
logo
right
on
out of
that.
my brain. It's making me upset.
I know.
No, it's like a top 10 brewery in America.
Really?
Just about an hour and a half north of here, yeah.
Why do I feel so
Apple
How have I
Goliath.
never heard of it?
uneducated and dumb?
Apple and Goliath Brewery.
Yep,
Huh.
I feel stupid and dumb. We're in Michigan. We have like
Neat.
all the good ones. That's crazy. I
We
feel
have all
so
the good ones.
Except
Steve-O,
that
send me
Everyone
some of
else is
that.
trash.
What the frickin'? All right. Well, we've diverged. So you guys, somebody comes out with a 44-inch worm, and it's the only thing that anybody wants to fish with because someone caught a world record bass on it, right? And
an anaconda.
you guys need to make an anaconda mold. When you go to make a 6-foot tapeworm mold, what are you like? Are you going into CAD and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make this mold and I'm gonna find the best way to do it, like for the do it style of mold, like a home shot mold, or are you reaching out to that company and saying, hey, we want to pay you $100,000 or whatever so that we can sell this on our own? Like what's the route?
Yeah, like I said, it's like the only thing that we have like a licensed agreement, like where there's any sort of payment to a company is Yamamoto for obvious reasons, because it is, I mean, like they gave us the file to the Yamamoto Senko, which is a valuable
100%
thing for sure.
Yeah.
The other stuff is like ribbon tail worms, a TRD. I mean, pretty basic.
A curly
stuff.
tail grub. Like what you? It's a
right.
There's nothing you can't.
Right. Point me to the person that we need to pay for that, right? I mean, you get what I'm saying, but
no,
he died in 1927.
It'd be like trying to get like the mold for a Kleenex. Like you can't. It's too late. It's too. No, I mean, I'm being actually. That's probably the best example because the term Kleenex, you can't even. Like anyone could make it, and that term doesn't mean anything anymore because anyone can make it. So anyone can make a tissue. You just can't call it a Kleenex. So anyone can make a craw that looks like this. Rage craw, whatever, and it doesn't matter because there's 16 billion craws out there. You just happen to make one that looks just like
just
this.
have a little different flange on it, maybe a couple different legs coming off the sides, and it's totally different.
We really try to do stuff our own way, and we do. You could look through our catalog or on our website and be like, okay, yeah, that kind of looks like that. But we realize that our corner of the market and where we're at, like we're in a really unique position. And we're not a huge market in the fishing industry, although it's growing, but we do have all sorts of sets of eyes on us, and we have been around for a long time.
You're like the
we
first place someone would look if they were like, "Did someone steal our mold?" And
Yeah,
they'd be
no,
like,
I'm
"Do it
yeah,
starting to
for
mold."
see
sure.
more of these
Well, I
kids
mean,
and
we saw.
cons.
I saw everything that you guys released at at ICAST this year. I mean, and I spent more time there than I did. That was everything else was garage sale at that table. I spent more time there than anyone else at your guys' table. So, yeah, I mean,
Are
to
you
your
looking
point,
for
your
an
stuff,
award or something? Are we?
your
I
stuff
feel
is
like
obvious.
You make
No, I
one.
mean, it was like I
we
passed
can
over
make
everything else.
one.
I'll make
We
a
spent.
mold.
Can you make a mold to mold him a
Real
medal so he can be like most time spent at Do It Molds at ICAST number
ICAST.
one?
ICAST 2022.
Who needs one?
Do It Mold stalker number one. He was behind the curtains just peeking at you guys. He's like, "What else you got?"
Oh God. But yeah, but that does make sense. I mean, that does kind of put you in the spotlight when you're sort of leading the
Yeah.
pack. You know, you're going to be the first. You're going to be the first website someone checks for their stuff.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get to this later, but I will say 2022 and on, I think you're going to see some new products that are really original. A lot of them are very, very original. Now,
Nice.
like I said, we're not going to like turn our head to trends and not pay attention to, you know, obvious
like making money.
bandwagons. Sure, yeah, you have to, right? But we are really going to put some stuff out there that is totally original, and I think you're going to see it be just as successful. You got to remember, like the people that are using our products to make their finish good have to be happy with what they're like. They have to be happy and proud to make that, and or think that there's demand for that too, or they're not going to purchase our mold, because maybe that's another bucket that I didn't get to. Of Do It customers is people that purchase molds, make tackle, resell tackle.
Resell.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yep. So they got to be thrilled with it too. If you can't win them
Yeah.
with the mold, then it's not going to do any good.
Right.
It's the name of the company.
Yep.
So I want to talk about the lineup because I think the
Yeah.
lineup is. It doesn't. I think I know that I approached it and I had plastics in my head, and I knew that you guys made tons of other stuff and sold. I was actually pretty ticked off. I just like re-upped on all my treble hooks and like split rings and everything. I was like, "You dumb, you should have looked here." But you know, when I went onto the site, I like totally didn't even. Okay, Debo's got my next question. We're gonna get there. In my brain, I was like, I thought of you guys as plastics and shooting plastics and nothing else, even though that I'd already had experience and knew that you guys were making like jig heads and all sorts of other things and had like even like lead melting equipment, everything, right? And so I approached it that way. And then once I started getting into the catalog, I kind of like my mind just started leaking out of my ears. So can you kind of give us the breakdown of like in terms of like the do it like offering, right? Like when you go to the website, you could buy anything. You look at that whole offering. Like if it was a pie chart, what percent is like stuff for plastics, what percent is stuff for terminal, and what percent of stuff is like everything else, like blades and skirts and like sort of that whole like miscellaneous everything else that goes into it.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think I can answer that. Molds, I'll just put it this way: we have over 700 different molds alone.
What?
Yeah. So molds is like that's a huge part of it. Obviously, that's our
Right.
that's what we're here for. Now hooks, wire forms, things like that, we could put that into a category and call it components. We
Mhm.
could put paints, skirting material, things like that into accessories. I'm gonna say molds are probably, shoot, I don't know if I want to say 50 or 75%, but I'm gonna say in terms of revenue and importance, I would say
Yeah.
definitely 75%, and then the rest,
Holy crap.
hooks, things like that, fills in the rest.
Holy
One thing to keep in mind is we have a distribution network around the world too. We're in Bass Pro, Cabela's, Tackle Warehouse, whatever, name a big box retailer, we're in it. We have a distribution network to support too, and for that reason, or one of the probably many reasons, molds are a priority. They just have to be. There's people's businesses that rely on our products.
Good point.
So
are you guys okay? After this, I'm going to ask the Debo question. Are you guys manufacturing the actual molds like in your shop, or are those getting made elsewhere and brought here?
All right, I love it. All right,
supply chain here. What's up?
Yeah, supply chain. It's in shambles right now.
Disaster. Yeah, my whole life's a wreck. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, why would you go there, man? Whoa.
I'm
It
sorry.
couldn't be
Friendly
worse.
fire,
It couldn't be
friendly
worse.
fire.
It could not be a worse day.
I'll send you some copper glitter and we'll be good.
You know,
Phew.
Gallon.
No, so there's actually again, shout out to Debo. There's a Debo video where he goes through our plant. We give a nice little tour and you get to see our manufacturing process. All of our manufacturing, well, not all of it. There's some trade secrets. There's some proprietary stuff that we can't show anybody, but a lot of it is up there for grabs. So go check it out. No, all of our manufacturing is done like right there. We have our own foundry that makes all of the sandcast products. So the Do It mold. This guy right here, as you can see, it says right on it.
Yep.
Denver, Iowa, USA. So it's made right here. We have CNC machines as well. Of course, that make all of our like billet aluminum, our precision series molds.
I was going to ask about
molds.
those. So what's the, okay. First of all, Debo, a lot of times I ask questions that I know the answer to, just so you know. So if I want him to say, these are all made in Iowa, you can tell me you're welcome. I just want you to know that, Debo.
It's for the people, man.
Try to call me out that I didn't watch his video of a tour of Do It, and now I'm just gonna have to go and
He's lying,
Debo for libel.
You lying?
You lie. I like you, man. You lie a lot.
I like you, man.
So yeah, what you talked about the difference between like the sandcast and like the precision stuff. So what, like, if I'm a novice, which I am, and I was like, should I? What's the difference between the two? Like, what should I expect to see?
Yeah, good question. That's one we get a lot actually. So our CNC molds or our precision series molds are all CNC, and it is exclusive to our soft bait offering. You won't see a jig mold or any sort of lead mold offered in CNC. Those are all sandcast like this. Here's a swim jig mold. So these are all sandcast. You will not see these in CNC, but our soft bait line has both a sandcast option, which goes through the same foundry process as this mold here. Then we also have, again, the CNC mold. So I would say definitely the sandcast molds are going to be more approachable for somebody that's like on the fence or not sure if they want to get into it. The cost is roughly half of a CNC mold, if not more, depending on the CNC mold. So right now you can get into an essential series mold. If you go to our website and check it out, they're $45 for all of our sandcast CNC or sandcast soft bait molds. I'm sorry. So again, like for the guy that doesn't want to get like super far down the rabbit hole and just wants to like remelt this plastic, shoot them into a Senko mold, shoot them into a swim bait mold, something like that, just to be economical. For $45, you can do that. Now, for the guy that's making baits for resale, wants to, sell Senkos, sell whatever, a beaver bait, whatever it might be, that person probably is more times than not going to lean towards that CNC line because it's going to offer a finish or the sheen texture of the bait that you're going to see on the store or on the shelves of the Bass Pro.
Because it's going to fill more perfectly. Is that right? Like you're gonna get like you won't get all those little pop marks that are basically gonna give you like a rougher finish. Is that what you're getting with the CNC?
You're getting more detail. It's definitely just a detail thing. The tools that come down from the CNC machine that go to mill out those cavities can get way more detail than sand, which is essentially what makes our sandcast molds. Is going to offer versus a hardened steel bit, spinning crazy RPMs on a piece of aluminum.
Yeah, if you've ever seen what those things can make, they're freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, that is nuts.
So I have a question about like tungsten. So it's definitely a huge trend within the last, we'll call it like 2-3 years, right? It's become something that's more accessible because people have found manufacturing operations that can make a tungsten, anything, you name it. They can make a tungsten hat if you really wanted it. And it's like,
Dude, I think we need that now.
Tungsten underwear.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, I don't want to harken
go
back
there.
that
I'll go
far.
there.
I don't know which way we're going.
That's a chastity belt. You just go knock knock.
They made those. That's been out.
That's been out forever. Robin Hood Men
Candy
in
undies
tights.
are hard to find.
Yeah, sure. Well, they only last so long.
Yeah.
So my
They all mill down. You get streaks down your legs.
so like, how many times can you really wash candy underwear? I don't really know.
Yeah, rainbow legs. That's real weird.
Oh God, this is horrible. Speaking of
Welcome to
demonetized,
the show.
yeah. So I mean, you talked a lot about lead, right? Lead's a very accessible, workable metal at home.
Mhm.
Is that why is like tungsten that much more hard to work with? Which is why you would not see someone doing that in their garage. Like you would need 22 billion degree furnace to like get
The surface of the sun. You
Yeah.
fly your rocket there. That's how all the tungsten's made. Everybody knows that, Paul. So it's not going to happen in a garage anytime soon, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's the melting point of tungsten that is going to deter and then of course limit pretty much everybody from it, having access to it. Tungsten, it's always going to be expensive. Period. I mean, it's gotten a little bit cheaper because there's more people playing the tungsten game now, and naturally the market floors kind of drop because you've got more competition all of a sudden. It's not really, I don't foresee it getting any cheaper than it is right now, and it's already quite expensive. Has a ton of benefits, won't doubt it. I mean, I've got like way too much money worth of tungsten right there in about this much space, which maybe speaks to my point. So yeah, you need it, but I don't see tungsten getting any cheaper, and I don't see it being super accessible to a lot of people. I don't see lead going away.
Oh no,
No,
by
for
no
sure.
means. I actually
Mhm.
wish, after doing a bunch of comparisons, just for what we do, I actually wish human brains worked a little bit better, because there's definitely some times when tungsten doesn't make any sense. Like when you don't need I think anytime you don't really need contact, there's not really like a size variance. So like tube jigs, I think is a great example. Like when they're hidden in the jig, I'm not sure that they help you at all. They may actually hurt you. And I think that was like eye-opening for me, because I kind of always just expected them to be significantly smaller, and they're just not always. I think there's been 4 or 5 instances where I'm like, yeah, that tungsten doesn't make sense here. Even
I
with
just like the way you phrase that.
like what?
I wish human brains worked
Well,
better.
the reason I say that, and that's like intentional.
I know.
It's
It was,
intentional.
if it was definitely an attack.
It is an attack on human beings. We're
Thanks.
stupid. So,
Thanks.
well, I'm included in that, right? So I bought tungsten tubes thinking like, oh, these would be better for me. And then when I got them, I was like, why are these better for me? I just assumed because they were made of tungsten that they would be better for me, without even thinking about the fact that like,
You're just like tungsten everything across the
that's my
board
point.
now.
And I'm like,
Because
well,
you had one
they're
good
making-
experience with a tungsten.
I've had good experience and I like it, but then I just realized, as I'm holding a jig that's half the price, a tube jig that's half the price, it goes inside a soft bait, so I'm not getting any
Size
benefit
differential.
from it. And then I'm not getting any benefit from it being harder, right? Because it's encased in soft plastic.
Right.
And then at the same time, it's no smaller. It was the same size for at the weights I was looking at. I'm like, well, I paid $4 more for this pack, 50% more than I had to.
Yeah, there's specific executions of it that make more sense. But to parry off that question here, we got David Ellers with he just said, ask if they have any lead alternatives to the garage do-it-yourselfers. So other than lead, what anything else?
You can play around with all sorts of different alloys when you're using our products. Lead not being one of them, like we talked about, due to melting point. You're just not going to be able to do that. There is like tungsten powder, and you can play with resins and make tungsten stuff from home. It's a huge hassle.
Be safe, people.
Yeah, whole nother rabbit hole, and it's not
Start doing
probably worth
chemistry.
So I actually
Alchemy.
I did watch one of your guys' videos, because I want to check out your YouTube channel as I was doing my research. There's a really cool video on where to find lead and like what to look for when like you're getting your own lead. And I was like,
Yeah.
I never thought that video would have had to have been made. And then after I watched it, I was like, everyone should watch this video. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's in the paint in your walls that you used to chew on as a kid.
Like I said,
Everything's
people's
making more
brains just need
sense
to work
now.
a little bit better.
Oh yeah, so you can be really resourceful. There's a lot of different ways you can get lead. If you want to use something other than lead, let's say, I'm aware there's a couple states in the United States, New Hampshire being one of them, that I believe New Hampshire's one of them, maybe Vermont too, that prohibits lead from use in waterways, or at least some waterways.
Mhm.
And then there's some people that have other metals laying around that they want to utilize. Some of those can be bismuth, tin. That's a really common one. So there's actually quite a few people that will use tin. It's got a very similar density. So all of our molds are like mathematically tested. So it'll say 3/8 ounce, whatever it might be, for the advertised weight. If you pour that using pure lead and you set it on a scale, it's going to weigh exactly as it should. Tin is just a little bit lighter. I can't say I have much experience with bismuth, but I want to tell you that's in the same boat and that it's a little bit lighter.
Mm.
But there's other stuff you can play
It
around
could be.
with.
I think it could be tempered differently though, because bismuth, when you mix it with lead or you mix different sizes, I think you can actually start just coming from birdshot. Like bismuth is like the new, it's been like the new deal. So like heavy shot and a lot of these big companies are starting to mess around with bismuth in their loads. I think there's ways that you can temper it. It's actually like harder. You're like naming off all the different like turkey and duck loads that you can all the different metals that are in like shout molds now. So that's freaking cool.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. Like, there's a little bit of maybe a lot of bit of crossover between like the reloading and ammunition community, and then the tackle making community at Do It, for
The
sure.
second I saw the
Yeah.
where to find lead video, you know how many videos there are about like the best ways to get a hold of brass? Like, you know how many videos there are of that? You just type in
Right.
brass and that might be like your number one video that shows up. And that's like right where my head went, was like reloaders are probably down there like,
Mhm.
I got a whole setup for this. Like
For sure.
it's freaking awesome. I love it.
Love it.
I want to talk about some of you talked about having, how many molds was it? Like 70 some?
700? 700? Yeah.
Yep.
Unfreaking real.
We're gonna
Now
get
I
all of
believe it
them,
though.
right?
Well, yeah, please A to
I
Z.
saw the Yamamoto was $105. I was like,
That's a CNC mold.
ah,
You can get the sandcast version for $45.
I saw that. And then there was like a sheen kit, something to make it all nice and shiny as well. It was like $20.
Sheen kit.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It's in here somewhere. Anyways, here's what I want to know, because I'm on the site right now. And if you guys aren't on the site, just go to store.do-itmolds.com or just type in Do It Molds into Google. That helps too. There's a ton of stuff on here, so I would encourage you guys to like look through here. I love like the craw molds. There's lots of cool stuff, and like if you click on craw molds, there's I don't know, 24 different craws that you could get, which is sick. All sorts of different designs, like choose your own adventure. But what I immediately gravitated towards, because I'm a noob, would be the starter kits. And I see that you've got the lead starter kit section's empty, sadly. So I want to know more about that. But then I saw the plastic starter kit. There's 2 there. So to anybody listening that's like thinking about doing this thing, and to anybody currently podcasting with you on this podcast right now live, which would be me, where would they start? Like, what kit would they get?
Yeah, so if you we'll start with the lead one, the sad face one. We had to make that unavailable temporarily just due to demand of that mold alone. That would have originally been included in that kit. So we still offer, a lot of our molds are still in stock, and we're still, cranking out record numbers daily, just in an attempt to meet demand. So, there's still a lot of stuff available. Essentially what that lead kit did was just like combine a bunch of the like items that you would need, and it of course did all the things that kits do, maybe offer you a little bit of a discount. There's still all that stuff available. If you have any questions, if you are, wandering through our website and you see something that you're interested in, you don't have the confidence to select all the components that you need, we do have an email address set up called techsupport@doitmolds.com. You can contact them. They will square you away with everything that you need. Soft bait wise,
you have to repeat that, because
Was that your dog, Paul?
my dog.
Oh, I just heard a dog like trampling over somebody's
Not me.
Was it my dog? All right.
Was
Anyways.
very likely mine.
Okay. See, I wasn't crazy, but I thought you were saying repeat that because I just heard like a stampede go over his head.
You need to say the website again, and I want people to not be scared to do this because I'm going to tell you right now, like
Chaz posted it.
I know, but I have been scared by in similar situations, like do I get this one or that one? Like which size? Like, all that sort of thing. Like I've been in Home Depot and been like, ooh, I don't know, I can't find anybody. Am I just gonna do this or not? Right. And then like
that's
the
not
Google
you.
machine.
You're
right,
in with your carpenter pencil, and you grab an apron from an employee at Home Depot, and you put it on.
I know more than you do.
I know more than you.
That is my problem.
But
my house is still standing. My deck is still standing. You can still sleep in the basement. So so far so good. But no, I mean, like I've been in that situation before. Maybe not in a Home Depot, right? And I say the website, say the email address again, and I would encourage people like do that. Like do that. Like actually reach out.
Do it.
Like do it.
Do it.
Please do it and legitimately reach out and just say like, I'm trying to do this. I want to buy my own starter kit, but I want it to be this mold. Like, just tell me all the things. Make me a shopping cart.
Yeah, and that's a service that we offer. And again, that email address is tech support and then do-it molds with an s.com. I get to say that a lot every day. That's how I've rattled that off so quick.
But I like how you said them because I'm getting the sense that's not your job.
No. Yeah. Used to be.
You're like, go talk to those nerds.
He's like, let me just take this hat off right now
and
set it on fire because it's not meant to.
Yeah. No, that's how you get really good at understanding your product and your customer, though, is just answering questions like that nonstop. And not to say that I don't still pick up the phone and answer questions, because I certainly do. We recognize that there is a barrier to entry with our product line, right? Like there's an investment that has to be made. It's not like one of these crankbaits here or some line where it's like, oh, I'm going to try that and I'm going to spend, if it's a crankbait, maybe 10, 12. If you're buying a Japanese one, double that, whatever. But I mean, it's more than just, a quick, simple investment. I mean, there's literally, in some cases, hundreds of dollars to get this started up. However, your return is on the backside, and it constantly returns the more that you do it, and really starts to add up. But it's not the easiest process to get started. There's a lot of terminology. There's a lot of other stuff that you have to know before you get started. So we recognize that, and to help customers out and break down that barrier to entry, we lend a hand however we can to make sure people are getting the products that they want and need.
Well, and you want them to be safe when they're at their house, like shooting plastic or melting lead, right? So you have the Devos of the world, and pretty soon, Gramps, I know he's already setting up stations. So if you're not following fishing with Gramps, I know he's going to be doing the same thing. So those are folks that know enough to be helpful, and those are people that you should be going to as well. I'm just going to say that right now.
I saw Gramps.
I am going to ask that question. Yep.
Tech support email is on screen. Got it. Thank you, Chaz. All right, so let's get into this question, because I think this leads into kind of like what's next, which I think is like probably the most fun part of any conversation with a bait company or with a company in fishing in general. So I definitely want to get into that. So Mark Terrio says, the big question for the soft bait community: will Do It molds ever have a locking pin to hold the nozzle on their injectors?
Okay, so our 9.5 ounce injector does feature a locking mechanism. Our 4 and 6 ounce injectors do not. I will say, although I fully understand like the benefit to having it, anybody that doesn't maybe know what he's talking about when you press down on our injector, the nozzle that's at the end that holds the plastisol back, does that have a locking mechanism? You really have to be forceful to push out that nozzle out of the injector cylinder to get it to come out and to get the hot plastisol to spill on the floor or whatever, or you. And I understand you don't want that to happen, fully understand it. Like I said, you really do have to be pushing on it to get that to happen. Our 9.5 ounce injector, just due to the volume back there of plastisol coming through your injector, we do have a locking mechanism. Totally understand your point though.
Got it.
Get the
Nifty.
big
There
one.
you guys go. Get the big one, you nerds. Go make more plastics, obviously. So I want to talk about what you said before we started the show, because I think this opens a real fun can of worms here. You mentioned before the show, we were talking on predicting 2022, what's going down in the fishing industry, that you think we were spying on you. Like we bugged your room, like
Yeah.
we were on to something. And as Paul and I have said, we just got lucky and guessed something. But you're potentially seeing maybe some fun, interesting, exciting, cool like changes. And you hinted at 2022, some big stuff coming down the line. Can you give us any leads, any ideas, any things you guys got in the hopper coming up this year?
For sure. So, I mean, if memory serves, when I went back and looked at your predictions, there, one of them, predictions, and I think there was some, just some general consumer thoughts.
Yeah.
Specifically having to do with like resources and maybe making it more approachable, I think was maybe the word used.
Yep.
That's something that we're working on constantly, but is a huge initiative for us here this year. Is I talked about breaking down that barrier to entry, kind of like hand holding, making sure that the customer has a good experience and as easy of an experience as they can getting into it. That's something that we're working on, is just making this category or segment in fishing more approachable. One of the ways we're doing that is with education. So you're going to see a whole video series here soon, production, full 9 yards, video series, just full resources. So we're actually going to have a resource center on our website, a tab where you can click. It's going to take you to our YouTube channel and display just about every question you could think of when it comes to any form of making tackle. And there's going to be a 30-second to 1-minute video answering your question. So that's a
awesome.
huge one. Mm-hmm.
I love it. And then I also saw, like, with the starter kit, what I think would be cool is when you go through the starter kit for the like the big kit for the plastics, it walks you through like what's the colorant you want. You pick 4 colorants, you got 4 glitters, you got the kit stabilizer, worm oil, kit softener, injector, kit bags, kit gloves, any extras. So it'd be cool to be like, okay, so you want to make baits, here's like the main stuff that you need, and then there's just like bonus stuff, and you just like click the drop down, fill it in, and you should be good to go with that kit. So I love that idea. I'd love to see just more of that that you guys do, and make it like a cool fun kit, because I could see just like kids doing it. I got my kids the Shakespeare like color your own hard baits, 3 little hard baits, and you just like get a paintbrush or whatever, paint it up, have fun with it. I mean, I think that'd be yes, there's toxic fumes going on, but it could be a fun family project.
Yeah, everybody wear a respirator. We're gonna have some fun.
I mean, we got them anyways. Just wear it.
Right. No, for sure. One of our soft bait kits, I do know it does have. It has all the contents, like the must-haves, like you were talking about, and then it does allow you the ability to select like the specific colorants that you want and specific glitters, 4 of each. So, for example, like Paul would be like copper, 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 copper. And then
copper.
you get to pick your 4 colorants too, and then you'd probably substitute your colorants for copper glitter too.
Yeah, copper colorant.
I'm literally just like exploding glitter in my head. Yeah. So it's funny you say it. So GNP Fishing just said, I was looking into getting into making my own baits for fun, just not exactly sure where to start. I wish there was an actual beginner's kit and guide. So GNP, to answer your question,
guess what?
There is a kit. And that's why I actually said, when you said guide, because like you really want to feel like you're getting what you need. Like you don't want to order it all and be like, what I forget? And so, dude, email, was it tech support?
It was on the screen.
Like
it was on the screen.
Email the tech support and just say, hello, I'm a beginner. I would like to make baits for fun. And
I will like make baits.
People just tell you what to get, man. I'm serious. Like that's why I meant like if you have any questions and like the YouTube videos aren't doing it for you, or the guide is not doing it for you, like dude, email those people. Because so I've worked on those phones before. I worked at Moose Jaw, and I used to answer phones for them well into the night, ship stuff to Alaska, you name it, answer questions about everything from hiking boots to sun toe watches. Like, and I'm telling you, like, those people know their stuff, and they're not there answering phones for like a $15 paycheck. Like, they just like doing it, and they know their stuff. Like, go ask them questions because they legitimately are just sitting there waiting to answer your questions. Like, they're literally just sitting around waiting for you to ask. So I would recommend that you do that.
That's all they do. That's all they do. So I got one from, and then I'm gonna hit this super chat. I'll get you in a second, Greg. The _ the Burly hype man _ aka _ Burly's bad glasses. Good one. Roasted. Says Jeff, make sure to ask what colorant you need for Copper Truce. So do you have the color? Are you familiar with the Z-Man color Copper Truce?
I could do a quick Google search to refresh myself, but I think so.
So it's like green pumpkin, red flake, and for half, and then the other half is chartreuse, and then there's copper flake in there.
Okay, so green pumpkin. I probably go green pumpkin brown.
Okay.
For the green pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Chartreuse for the laminate
for
color.
the chartreuse, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. And then copper flake, would you say?
The copper flake.
Probably copper, yeah. So, a lot of the stuff that you see, like watermelon, red flake, I mean, it's watermelon with red flake. It's really, there's a learning curve,
brain
of course.
teaser.
Like when you're going to make your brain teaser. When you're going to make your soft baits, there's a learning curve for sure, like anything.
Yeah.
But it's pretty rudimentary. It's pretty straightforward. Like, you see something on a Bass Pro shelf and you're like, I want to make that or better. It's not very hard to do that. It's just not. There's some colors that are definitely trickier than others, but it's easy.
Let me just go ahead, Jeff.
I was just gonna say, how do you split the colors? Because that was on it was on the show notes, which I
wrote that question down.
All right,
I saw it. How do you split the
like
colors?
A half and half? So like horizontally, I want to have green pumpkin on top and my Canadian blue on bottom, and I don't want anything else.
All right, I love it. There's two ways of doing it. There's depending on your mold. There may be only one way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Some molds have what's called a laminate plate, which is essentially you have your two-piece mold, the hinge closes, you shoot the mold. Then we have what's called a laminate plate, where you take your two pieces that are open here like a sandwich, you take your laminate plate over half and clamp it and shoot that one half, then remove your laminate plate, close it, then you can shoot the other color. Not every mold has a corresponding laminate plate, depending on how those cavities are oriented within that mold. So the way to combat that is to just dual inject it, which is probably what I would recommend.
That's where you have like if you had two tubes, they'd be like attached to each other, and you could do one color and one in the other, and then you just have to be really careful about equal pressure on each one, right?
Yeah. So the biggest. Yep. So it's like you said, it's just two cylinders, an injector nozzle, and then what's called two injector nozzles. I'm sorry, dual, and then what's called the bending block, which is where when they come through the nozzle, each cylinder comes down. They come through the nozzles. They go through what's called the bending block, where those then meet and go into the sprue hole. We're learning anatomy. Yep. And then go into the mold. So that's your anatomy lesson for the night. All the parts of an injector and a mold.
I kind of got, guys. No, I do it. I think I have a skill set for making t-shirts, and I really want to do a t-shirt that is a dual injector mold, and it just has
to the sprue hole,
to the sprue hole at the bottom, and I want all the names of all the pieces.
Ooh.
And I will design that shirt. And maybe that will be our next shirt.
Collab,
dude. I'm down. I drew up. I want to take credit for this where it's due, because our next one's gonna be a banger too. This was my last design, and I mean, people have been interested. So
now I understand why you were so sensitive when I took a shot at the TRD.
I was ready to kill you.
Yeah. It's fine. Our friendship is completely ruined.
I earned my way back though when I
instantly. Yeah, and above.
You had a copper brush guard on your jig, so I mean, you win. You win. You beat most. Like Paul's past best friends, they're gone and dead to him.
As long as I have this, I can say or do anything that I want.
You just keep that in your pocket, man. That is your get out of jail free card. All right, so Greg Whitaker dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Says, yo, Paul _J. That's your name now, Paul. You seem very knowledgeable about ice fishing. How long you been on the ice? Ever had a scary moment? P.S. at Do It Molds sponsor these guys. He said it, not me. But if you're sending an
I
email after this, I'll read it.
I I'm very flattered because I'm very average ice fisherman.
He's
But
terrible. He's really bad.
I've been ice fishing for maybe like 5-6 years at this point,
I
something
think
like that.
so. A long time.
Yeah, I mean
That's long to
longish.
me. That's long to
Yeah.
me. I've been doing
I
this is my 3rd season. I think it's my 3rd season.
I'm still very limited. Like I think I'm pretty good at what I like to do, and I haven't really branched out way further than that. So I haven't done any like super deep water stuff. Um, I mean, I'm I'm okay at tip ups, but I'm not like great. I'm probably average at
Mm-hmm.
best. I just don't do it a ton. But if you need somebody to go to a pond, like any random spot, and find fish, especially like sub 40 feet, like I'm your guy. Like I feel
As
pretty
somebody else.
comfortable. I feel pretty comfortable. Find a new friend. No,
Find a better friend.
I feel pretty comfortable
It's
being able to
not
be
me.
like, I feel pretty comfortable that I could like get it done. But so I
Yep.
appreciate that's very flattering that you'd say that. So, and I have not had any close calls, and that is because I don't play
Yep.
games with the
We don't
ice.
mess around, bro.
I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I have a lot of friends. I have a few friends that are into ice fishing that are very comfortable going out into the 3-inch ice, and I'm not. I'm not one of those people. I'll never do it.
Yep.
I'm a 4 inches or just go do something else. And I'm fortunate to be in a place where I don't have to worry about that too much. That's usually
Yep.
not an issue. You wait a week and you're usually good. So, but I've been very fortunate. I'm knocking on, this is actual wood, so knocking my workbench here. I never want to have a close call. I hope I never have a story like that. But I did
I
just
had
get
one.
floating gear. Yeah, Jeff had one, and way earlier than me when he told Jeff, like kind of had one leg go through, and I
Mhm.
remember being like, I've been ice fishing for kind of a while now, and I've never had that happen. I even remember telling him like I was stunned that it happened.
It was my 2nd season. It was 2 years ago now that happened, I think. So it might have been like late 1st season. I don't know. It was warm and the ice was starting to melt like ice does when it gets warm.
Like you do.
But it was probably the latest I ever ice fished. It was like March. And I mean, it was still pretty thick, but it becomes uneven at that point when it starts melting. It's melting in different pockets. And I happened to watch. I was looking at it. I was like, oh, okay, that's completely open water. Probably don't go there. And then like you can veer over here, like this is discolored kind of. I was like, I'll just walk around it. And then like one leg just went straight through, and I was like, I'll just go home. I just went.
I do have a transition for you. Check this one out. So,
Ready.
if you want to get good at ice fishing, just like anything else, including making your own baits, but one thing I will say is like legitimately, all joking aside, like go make mistakes. I've never
Yeah,
gotten good at
that's what life's
anything
about.
where I like
Live your life a
started
quarter
being
mile at a
good.
time.
Fast and
Live
Furious
your life.
reference.
Live your
Love
life
it.
a quarter ounce at a time.
Yeah, but I would
Yeah.
legitimately say like if you wanna just go be good at something, go make mistakes and go start with the intention of like knowing you're gonna screw up whatever you start. Like when I
Yep.
started building stuff, I messed everything up.
It's gonna look terrible and it's gonna
Every
break.
single thing I made was wrong. I still make gigantic mistakes, but like I don't stress about it because unless there's like a lot of money involved, like I have no stress because every mistake that I've made now when I go to do something else, I'm very aware to not make that mistake again. And when you shoot your first plastic and you like scorch your hand for whatever reason, like you won't make that mistake again, right?
These
Don't burn
gloves,
your
they
house
come in the
down,
kit.
right? Like
You
don't burn
should
your
just
house
wear
down.
gloves, really.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, maybe that's what you
They're
needed
in
to
the
learn.
kit.
Maybe that's what you needed to learn on the first time you do it, right?
A little bodily injury never hurt anybody until it did.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, I'm saying, and ice fishing is the same way. Like, if you wanna learn how to ice fish, you wanna learn how to regular fish, just go do it. I'd spent probably 3 years sucking at fishing before I even was able to say like I'm even remotely average.
Exactly. I want to put my bid in for another shirt idea. GFON made it better. So I live my life a quarter ounce at a time. Finn Diesel.
Oh God.
Ooh, that's really good.
That's for you to do it.
You should actually write that down. Yeah.
I am. This is what I'm doing. This is my marker board where I
really
write down
good.
my ideas.
Love it.
Quarter ounce at a time.
That's really good.
Finn
I want that
Diesel.
shirt so bad. Like right
And then
this
hold
second.
on. And what was the other one? It was the shooter.
Through the what's the hole called?
The anatomy of a mold.
That's
the
what it was.
anatomy of the mold where it comes down.
Well, it wasn't a mold. It was the injector.
Yeah.
The anatomy of an injector.
Wait, who does? What?
Is this
Jordan
drugs?
Belfort. No, kinda, yes.
Wolf of Wall Street.
I don't know what
All the movie references. Jordan Belfort. Quarter, I don't know. It was more like one Quaalude at a time. I don't know.
Yeah, I
if it
was like
quarter
one
ounce.
quarter Quaalude at a time.
Quarter
All right,
Quaalude
I
at a
got the
time.
t-shirt ideas down. I'm serious. I'm really excited about the t-shirts because the first one was really fun to make. We
Yeah.
gave it away to all of our members that were at our top tier. So if you were one of our top tier members, you just got the shirt for free. You
It's
got
gonna happen again.
order it. We're doing the same thing again, and you're gonna get it. I'm just so excited. I just like think that's the coolest thing. Like that's just
It's
awesome.
super fun. Wes Matlis reminded you, is the CBD smuggler idea on there yet?
Gosh dang it, that's a really
the lunker hunt spider full of CBD.
Oh god,
That's how we get it to Canada, bro. Oh man, Brennan, we did a giveaway with Autism Anglers, and Rick from Monster Bass was trying to give away a bunch of CBD. He was like, I have all the CBD, and the guy that won it's from Canada, and like we can't ship it over Canadian border. So because Debo was on the show, his favorite lure, I don't know if he's told you this, but he hasn't. He professed his love to us of the lunker hunt spider. So we're like, look, we're just gonna send you that CBD, inject it into a lunker hunt spider. Whole bunch of them. We got you covered.
He hates the spider more than he hates any of the other Big Ten football programs.
I know at first you were like, what? I'm lying.
It all makes sense now, and that's a good t-shirt idea for sure.
Yep.
I can't imagine how you felt when I first said CBD smuggler spider.
Hey dude,
who are these nerds?
Lost and confused.
You just rolled with it though, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Jeff, should we move into Slow Rolling Thunder?
Well, I mean, did we get any hints for like upcoming cool things? Did we get that far? I think we like diverged a bunch.
Oh,
give me a hint.
All right, here we go.
Oh, there's a note. Is that a notebook?
That's called the Book of Secrets.
That's the Book of Secrets. Open it. What? Okay. Okay. Yeah, where's Nicolas Cage? The Book of Secrets has been opened.
Dude, I love it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's so cool.
I'm glad that you have a leather notebook because I tell you right now, I have 3.
Oh yeah.
And that
is many leather-bound books.
Just a good notebook can't be replaced. Writing stuff down in pencil, I think it's like that's like you're a real you went above the copper flake level somehow.
Wow, dude, that's
what
an
if
honor.
What if his leather-bound books had copper flake?
Oh,
I'm sure you could swing that.
Copper ink in the copper notebook. All right,
I cast
Slow Rolling Thunder. Best in show. Best in show.
Silicon mold, and all it is copper flake. It's a notebook cover.
For sure. If you walk into a meeting and you lock eyes with another man that has a leather notebook, you instantly have a
you like
new
this.
Respect
this MFer knows stuff.
Yeah.
If I cite him some facts, he'll go, "Yep."
Yeah, that's my competition. It's the guy with the leather notebook.
Oh,
so you're saying it becomes the scene from American Psycho where you discuss business cards?
Oh, won't be that. No, because I don't care about the notebook. I need to know what's in the cranium. This is gonna be good.
Well, that's how you find out. A man is judged by their business card, same as the notebook.
Except that
it
one
tracks.
The one man's a lunatic. When he breaks out,
what's so crazy about him?
It's called American Psycho. When he breaks out the crazy card and you watch him literally sweat profusely and lose his mind, it's the most amazing scene.
It's a crazy movie.
That movie, like there are other great scenes that, like, obviously the murder scene with the Huey Lewis, like that was always like everyone's favorite. Mine, that actually the card scene was my favorite.
And a chainsaw down the stairwell. Come on now. All right, let's get into Slow Rolling Thunder, shall we?
So Slow
this
Rolling
is the fun part of the show, you guys. And they're
Yeah.
already doing it. Look how
Alright.
amazing chat is.
Trained. Yeah, I'm trained.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. All right, so keep chatting. If you haven't said anything, say something in chat right now. That's how you qualify to win the prize, which is a $25 online gift card, good to monsterbass.com, good for anything but the subscription. And, you know, I don't know if you want to buy like some Burly stuff, there might be some stuff in there still. I don't know. I think there's some hats still.
Time out.
Yeah.
If this helps, if you want to manage it or find a way to do it, we'll give a soft bait starter kit away. Find a way to find your winner. We'll make it happen.
Which one? What kit are we talking about?
The best one.
The best one?
Yeah.
There's 2 on there.
It's a $200 retail value.
Oh, the big kit? Yo! Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you guys heard it.
Should we do 2 winners then?
We're gonna do 2. Yeah, we'll do 2 winners. I don't know.
Do 1?
Let's do 1 winner.
Grand
We'll do
prize.
it. All right. You know what, you guys? Yeah, we're feeling spicy today. It's gonna be a grand prize. That's what we're gonna do. So 1 winner. You guys are we'll get in touch with you. If you follow the instructions, then we'll get your address. We'll make sure you get shipped out. We'll connect you with Do It, since you're going to need to pick out a bunch of stuff for that starter kit. So thanks to Brennan. Thanks to Do It for being fantastic.
Unbelievably generous.
This is the big kit. The one I listed where I was like, you get like 4 colorants and 4 glitters and like all the things. That's the all-in-one kit, y'all. So if anybody was thinking about getting into this thing, now you got like the perfect shot. Okay,
the way we run this, if you're chatting, you're entered. And while you guys are chatting, we're giving you time to chat. We're going to ask some fun questions. As we get towards the last question, we're going to go ahead and randomly draw from all the people that have been chatting. We're going to randomly draw a winner.
Then the timer starts.
Yep, and then the timer starts. You have like 1, maybe 2 minutes to say hello, confirm
pay attention
here, and we'll give you some instructions at that point. They're very simple.
There it is. All right, let's get into it. Question number 1, the most important. Oh, wait, no. Question number 3 is the most important. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. I mixed them up a little bit. So these are just fun questions. How many hours of sleep is the right amount of sleep?
They say 7, right?
That's
they say. What do you say?
You're a father, so I respect your
I'm a
answer.
father.
Oh, dude. Well, I get by on like 4 and 5 all the time, like every day. So I don't know that that's the right amount. I'm sure it's sure I could definitely use more.
Well, that's what I want to know. So like I recently had the opportunity to sleep for 8 hours. I went to bed at 9 o'clock.
I bet you were more tired when you woke up.
No, I wasn't. I thought I was going to be. I thought I was destined to be ruined. I woke up the next morning and I was like, this is how my wife feels every day? I was like, oh my God. What? You just wake up feeling wonderful?
Wow.
Yeah, stunned. Could not believe
it. I would say, I'm going to say 8. Like my wife just prides herself on sleep, and she makes me pride myself on sleep. So therefore I sleep way more, unless it's podcast night. I'll stay up super late tonight and get up super early. But like most other nights, I'm probably getting 7, 8, 7. I would say like 7, 7.5 is probably my average. I need it. I'm a growing boy. Anybody still tell themselves that? They're like just grabbing snacks at like 9 p.m. They're like, I'm a growing boy.
Like a bowl of like whatever carb I'm eating for sure.
He's a growing boy.
All right. What's your right hour? What's like the sweet spot for you? Like if you could just like select from all the numbers of hours, what would it be?
Oh, dude, give me 7.5 and I'm gonna be thrilled. I'll be just fine with that.
See? 7.5 is magic.
These are fathers all speaking raw way past 6.
Yeah, 3.5 shot. Child's like, I'm gonna record. Child's will record with a guy in Australia, and then he'll wake up and he'll record a sales podcast with me tomorrow.
I survive. I function on 4 to 5, but I don't love it. And like I said, I had that time to sleep. That's where this question came from. I woke up feeling like $2 trillion. It's unreal. What is your Brendan? What is your fishing footwear of choice? And you're a Midwest guy, so your answer is going to be great.
Hey, I'm glad you asked that. So I have a pretty strict policy with this. Yeah, it's pretty strict.
Okay.
So winter, fall, and I'm wearing them right now. Winter, fall, right here.
Okay. With
Okay.
socks?
Dude.
With socks.
Yeah, and if it's cold, woolies, dude. Wearing the woolies.
I'm kind of. I've been eyeball. Are those the Extra Tough? Is that Extra Tough brand?
Yeah.
Kind of digging it.
Man,
Yeah, no,
I've
I
been
love
on the fence for a long time. This might push me over.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're worth it. They're worth it. And then summertime, dude, like when I'm fishing, I want to be extraordinarily comfortable. Like,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I
Say
don't
more.
I'm not out there to like please anybody with my looks. I'm there to like
Yeah.
cross fish's eyes and be comfortable doing it. And
Yeah.
flip flops, dude. Flip flops or mandals, I should say.
Mandals?
Yeah, mandals.
How do we feel about that, Paul? Is that like a neutral answer?
That's neutral territory because that's
Neutral
like the
territory.
second
Okay.
answer. It's the second
Yep.
best answer.
Okay.
I respect why that choice is made. It's just
Yep.
wrong. I respect it though. Because Crocs,
But it's
Crocs
neutral
was the
bad.
right
It's
answer.
not like
Crocs was the answer we were looking for.
Crocs is the correct answer. Chaz, that is
That's a
answer
good
number
point.
3. That's a negative
I
points
feel
to
you, though.
Chaz.
Flip flops is the only acceptable alternative that I've come up with so far. We did have
That's
somebody,
fair.
the owner of BioBaits, said Jordans, whether he was bank fishing or on the boat, and I was like, what?
Okay, dude.
My word,
No.
that was
You won't
that
catch me.
stuck with me.
Yeezys. Yeezys is the correct answer.
All right, so next question. When you get your like long sleeve, sun protection fishing shirt on in the summertime, right? Do you prefer to have the hood on it or no hood, like crew neck or hooded long sleeve fishing shirt?
Yeah, I'm kind of weird with that. I mean, I have all the stuff, right? I mean, I've got the hooded, non-hooded, I've got the gaiters, got gloves, whatever, for all the sun protection stuff. Not that I don't see or understand the value, because I mean, skin cancer is real. I purely, like I said, like from a comfortability standpoint, can't stand that stuff like on my skin. I'm kind of weird
Boycott
like
it
that.
entirely?
So no, I mean, I'll wear like a sun shirt, but dude, and I'll have a gaiter on maybe to keep the sun off my neck, but you're not going to see it up here. Like I wear these raccoon eyes with pride, dude. I just can't have the stuff on my face.
Wait. So are you
Not
saying
shirtless, not
shirtless?
shirtless.
Okay.
Oh wait, your
No.
answer's still
Who would
invalid,
do
bro.
that?
I'll stop.
Oh, definitely not shirtless.
Chaz thought he was about to
thought
get
he
the
got a
first point.
Patriot.
He thought he was going to get the first
Nah,
point
bro.
in 98
No.
episodes.
Sorry,
Who's
bud.
who's the first? Who else,
He's
Chaz?
gonna have to Google it back. You're right. It was nobody. So Bren, but if you were gonna wear a long sleeve, fishing shirt,
Let's say
would the
someone
hood-
forced you to wear one, but
yeah,
you had a
to
choice
wear one.
between
Would
the
hood
two.
be on it or the hood not be on it if you got to choose the shirt?
Dude, I gotta go hoodless.
Yes.
We're still ahead,
Now
right, Chaz?
we're basically related at this point.
Okay.
Damn it.
How many
Okay,
more of these?
all right.
No. I'm behind one still. He was up 2.
That's literally what Chaz said.
Oh.
That's what he
Maybe I-
said.
I-
He goes, you're one ahead.
I
You're
thought
like,
you were talking to me.
you're
My
like,
bad.
no, I'm one behind.
Let me correct you for being so correct. All right, perfect. I love it.
Gosh dang. All right. So I'm going to start picking the guests and then I'm going to have this preliminary question. I'm like, yeah, so, we do our calls on Discord. Can you get on Discord? Yes. And also, we're, just curious, do you wear your sun shirts with a hood or no hood? They'll be like, no hood. And I'll be like, oh man, our schedule just booked up. I forgot. Sorry.
I love this. Perfect answer. And you'll never get anybody. So
then they will ghost you.
Yeah. All right, so we
I would have
are
still
ready.
came on, dude. If you said that to me, I would have still came on.
All right. Well, Brennan's the man. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Brennan being the man and Do It Molds being the company, we are ready to run our giveaway. So all you folks who have been chatting, we are now
Good
ready
job
to roll
chatting.
the giveaway. And while we wait for you to confirm, because there's a little delay, while we wait,
We
for
got
that,
a few
we're gonna
other
have
questions.
one more question.
What?
Wait, it was Westfall? Westfall Outdoor? Didn't he just win on Autism Anglers too?
Rigged.
I love it. Westfall Outdoors.
We do have your info,
Yeah, but we
Westfall.
got to make sure he's here. You get your 2 minutes. So Westfall
He's still
Outdoors,
here.
you are the winner.
Did he
said
say no
way already.
way?
Oh my gosh, this is the fastest, most
Wow.
unbelievable.
That world record. We have his info, and he concurred in 1.5 seconds.
Westfall Outdoors. If he wins
wow.
one more, I'm gonna go find out what he does for a living, because if it has anything to do with tech.
Yep.
All right, we're moving on. Westfall Outdoors is the winner. Holy smokes, he's one of our faves. We're happy for you, brother. I'm jacked for you. That's awesome.
Dude, he's turning into the new Fish in the Southeast.
Oh, I think we were afraid of that actually happening. Okay, anyways, last question. What would you go pro in, not fishing? If you could go pro in anything.
Dude, that sucks, because like that's
what you want to answer.
I'm not trying to brag and that like I'm crazy good at fishing, because that's all I do. I mean, like I literally just don't have any other hobbies. Like I don't have a life.
It's a trap. I've designed this trap for all the people who come onto the show.
Do you want to play a game? That's what we say. We ask these questions.
Oh man, I'm not good at anything.
You don't have to be good. You don't have to be good. That's the beauty of it. You could just
don't be so modest.
You'll be a professional. Like, would you like to be? So my answer, I think my answer was backup kicker. I'd like to be a kicker or backup kicker in the NFL, because you make like good money. You play for like a long time. You're never gonna get injured. You may get to make that one tackle that makes ESPN, because you're like the big kicker, and I would just lift all the time. But then you only have to work for like a not even the whole year. Like you get like 5 days off all the time because you're a kicker.
Okay, so this could be unrealistic and unattainable.
This could be insane. You could be a pilot. You could be a professional. You could be a professional like Smarties candy wear designer.
Well, like I hinted at the beginning of the show, I already kind of do that. No,
Tungsten.
I'd be like Tungsten undies.
Tungsten undies.
Tungsten undie model.
The first and the last Tungsten undie model.
I would be maybe a stats guy in.
Wait, in what? I missed what it would be in stats. I heard. What would it be?
I think I'd maybe be like a stats guy.
Just in general, you're saying? Or are you freezing up? Am I missing something?
He's got to be muted.
Oh, I can't hear him.
I need to know the answer.
You're muted.
Yeah, he's got to be muted.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
No.
Oh, we got him back. Well, hold on.
I lost lagged for a second.
Yeah, I just lost you 2 times. I heard stats guy, and then I heard in, but I don't know what you would be a stats guy in.
Baseball front office.
Oh, that's good.
Moneyball.
Would you be in like a big club, or would you be like like Moneyball, like the A's, or like the Cubs or something?
There you go. I'd be Jonah Hill from Moneyball, but I'd be at the Cubs because I'm a Cubs guy.
Yes, I get. You could definitely do that in football. It's just not the same. It's totally different. They haven't. Yeah, but people do it in football. I'll tell you where people do it in football, because I did this for a long time, years. Betting, gambling. The number of statistics is honestly mind-blowing. It's amazing. I love math, and that would actually be one of my things. Like, if I could like set lines, if I was like that good at stats, I would love my whole life to be around NFL wagers. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a good answer. That's my new favorite answer. This is great. All right, we got our winner in like 0.5 seconds, and we finished on a high note. I love this.
It's like, what do you do with your hands now? Like, I don't know. What do you? This is so weird. You guys are awesome. All right, so what, Chaz? What's my what?
What would you go?
I said, I think I said mountain biking. I thought that would have been really
like,
cool.
Maybe it was like jumps or something like that. Like, what do you call that when you like only do big jumps?
Dirt jump. Dirt jump pro.
I don't know what that's called.
Dirt jump pro.
We'll go with that.
Downhill mountain biking. Napoleon, I would be like,
sweet jump, dude.
Good job.
I would do downhill.
Yeah.
Downhill.
It's so much cooler. videos are incredible.
Yeah, you gotta do cool stuff. All right, big verticals to Burly Hype Man. Heck yeah. How about a parachute tester? Fishing the
Anyways.
southeast.
Wait,
Whoa.
How well does it pay?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, is it like
well,
deep sea welding?
it's all lost in insurance. So
Yep. All right, you guys. This has been fantastic, Brendan. Thank you so much for your time, and big shout outs. Thank you for the huge giveaway that Westfall Outdoors won. So that's fantastic. I guess I think Westfall's he's doing content. He's got some stuff going. He can maybe make some content behind that. For
Yeah,
sure.
there you go. Enjoy
We'll
it.
figure it out. So yeah, we'll get you in touch with him. We got his contact info, man. But yeah, I just want to say we appreciate you being on. Anything else that you want to shout out, or just places you want people to go to check out more on you and Do It Molds?
Yeah, if you want to check out Do It Molds products, doitmolds.com. do-it molds.com. We do have a catalog. I actually got one right here. It's a giant catalog full of all sorts of good stuff.
I want that.
Ned rig, weedless Ned rig right on the front. You see that?
oh, just like that.
I want that. That's what Debo's been making. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, so check us out there, doitmolds.com. You can request a free catalog. If you have any questions about products, tech support at doitmolds.com. We're happy to help you out. We got some good stuff coming here in 2022, so definitely keep your eye out. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Hope to be on here again. This was a ton of fun. Maybe we can circle back after iCast, and you guys can tell me what you think about some of those new products that I'm kind of hyping right now. And yeah, thanks a ton, guys.
They won't have to meet up at iCast. That's what we got to do.
Oh, you guys are going.
Well, we went last year, and it was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll buy you guys a beer or get you guys some Tungsten undies or
steal
whatever.
700 beers from one of the carts nearby, and maybe go back to boat.
Yeah, you go to the boat booth.
Yeah, dude. You know.
Yeah, boat had all the beer every single day, so you just go there, tap them out, and see you later. It was fantastic.
Booth, dude. You just gotta know. You gotta be resourceful. Like,
I agree.
Booth.
Don't get stuck at the Mossy Oak health juice mix station.
was it Yeti or was it Mossy Oak?
No, it was Mossy Oak. I mean, I love the guys at
Yeah.
Mossy Oak. I got tons of Mossy Oak stuff, but don't sell me that. Roll
I don't want a
out.
Jamba Juice. I
430.
want the elixir of the gods. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. We love you so much. It's been fantastic. And we will be back next week for episode actual 99, not 98 like this was. So whatever, we figured it out. So we got 99, then we got 100. And again, if you guys have any ideas for episode 100 or any more guests, please DM us. If you guys are listening to us, drop us a 5-star review, subscribe, like, do all the cool stuff. And we'll see you next Thursday. Chaz, take us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall and I found a way to reconcile, cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where sun go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I deserve to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs. Too many things to criticize. And so I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. Life kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead end street when all I had went flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry, so lie and pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day.